Hey Tiki, it's Mike Barron. Great to meet you. And you said we'll say something politically for a minute. I agree. The whole politics side
Yeah,
is a cluster in itself because
that's right.
everything
Oh,
becomes
there was
so
a fight in my
divided.
backyard about it last night. I was like, what are you guys
Really.
talking about?
Well, it was 100 in Denver yesterday, and it's
That's
36
right.
and snowing today. So maybe the world's ending. I don't know. But
I don't know.
um, your analogy is a fantastic one, and I think if some people would look at the subtleties, the
Hmm.
subtle differences, then they would at least lower their shoulders and have reasonable conversations with people.
That's right.
So, speaking of controversial topics, what's your take, having played for so many years, what's your take about CTE these days? And is enough
Yeah,
being done? Are they taking care of youths,
it's a
especially
great.
as they grow up to be an adult like yourself and be healthy and have your faculties together at your age?
Yeah, it's such a great question. So I remember when this first hit the National Football League, and it hit it like a ton of bricks because it was the year after I retired. Now, my last season, I played a game against the Dallas Cowboys, and I got knocked out. Like I was unconscious. I got hit by DeMarcus Ware. He came down and hit me across the head. I was unconscious. I fumbled. Um, uh, they recovered. Incidentally, that was the game that Drew Bledsoe gave way to Tony Romo because right after I fumbled, he threw a red zone interception to Sam Madison after halftime. Tony Romo came back out and was the quarterback. But also after that interception, I went right back on the field. I was unconscious, and 3 plays later, I'm standing in the backfield, ready to go. Nowadays, they take your helmet, and they prevent you from damaging yourself. So it is an option for players to report whether or not they're dinged. I see this every single game. There's a guy, he gets crushed, he gets up and he's aware of this, right? Because he doesn't want to be Wally pipped or whatever he wants to. He's aware that he's concussed, and you see him start going, "Oh, my shoulder! Oh man, I hit my shoulder! Oh, my shoulder!" Or it's like, "Oh, my back!" Like so, they're faking it to gather themselves. They're faking another injury to gather themselves because they don't want to opt out of playing. Because once you do that, you go to the sideline. They forget. They take your helmet. They put you in a concussion protocol where you go into the tent. You take a series of tests. Maybe if it's bad enough, they take you inside and you have to take a baseline test, and then you're done. Now you're done for the game, and you might be done for a week or two. And so what I've started to see is that unless you are unconscious, a lot of these players are not actually being, I think, covered correctly as it pertains to repeated head trauma. The problem is that everything that happens in the NFL trickles down. So you start to see this in college. I see it in college too. I'm sure it happens in high school. And it's worse in high schools because half of the high schools in this country don't have a medical professional on the sideline. And so it's dependent upon the head coach or a parent to come screaming out of the stands to make sure that their kid is okay. And so the NFL has done, I think, all that they can. The problem is that we are knuckleheads. Like football players are knuckleheads. They don't want to leave the football field because they realize as soon as they leave the football field, their opportunity might be gone. And that's what happens when you don't have guaranteed contracts. I hate to say it, but unless you have a huge signing bonus, a lot of football players are at-will employees. You can be fired or cut at any time. And sometimes if you do have a signing bonus, they'll cut you. So I think the NFL has done a lot. The only way that it gets better, like truly better, is if there are guarantees against concussive type injuries, forcing you to lose your position on a team and your contract.
Thank you, Tiki.